I'm talking to Khalid Saad, who is the CEO of Bahrain FinTech Bay, which is the largest and the leading FinTech hub in the Middle East. And Khalid works with financial players, with regulators, with FinTech entrepreneurs to basically drive the financial ecosystem. Did I get that right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay, excellent. What's your number one advice to the fintechs that you see on a day-to-day basis that are having problems with getting funding, that are having regulatory challenges, that are having problem communicating with banks or getting through to the banks? What's your one message to them?
I think one is never give up. I think that's important. There's obviously tremendous challenges. The mindset, the ethos takes a long time to change, and obviously, unfortunately for some fintechs or startups, time is of the essence, so they run out. I think the message is reach out to us, and I think people are sometimes always afraid to speak or knock on doors, and I think that's my advice. And we've had a lot of conversations with a lot of fintechs that have shared a lot of the struggles that we've shared also in terms of developing the fintech ecosystem. And so I think it really requires a lot of patience, never giving up. And a lot of entrepreneurs are like that. But I think also a very important piece of advice is really understand the market, understand the needs of the market.
And the needs of the consumer, more than the needs of the market.
Of the consumer, and go after that. Because we've seen a lot of moonshot projects or some projects that are unbelievable when it comes to technology, but the viability and the feasibility of them really being sustainable businesses are very low.
Right.
And so this is probably
your biggest advice.
My biggest advice. Don't give up. Reach out. Your problems are common to a lot of things. The mindset will take time to develop, and go after real market opportunity.
And what's your advice to banks who want to connect with these fintechs, or who don't want to connect to these fintechs but are having to do that because they actually have no choice but to do that come July 1st, I suppose. Yes. We wake up in Bahrain on July 1st to a new dawn.
Yes.
To a dawn where all banks have to, comply with open banking, and that means they have to comply and work with fintechs. What does that, what's your advice to banks who don't really want to do that but are having to do that?
I think, the world has changed. The disruption is already here. The pace of acceleration of that disruption is going to increase. Technology, embracing fintech and this new world is a strategic imperative. Mm-hmm. And it's not a matter of I'm going to put a certain amount of investment expecting a certain return in a few months or a few years down the line, but rather, what if I don't do this investment? What are the ramifications and the implications for me as an institution and my relevance moving on forward? So I think it's really important. We have started to see that financial institutions and other traditional financial players are looking at this quickly, and the others that are still hesitant, this change is coming. And I think the days of being completely ring-fenced and protected are gone. And so it's better to embrace this new reality. It's better to connect with the customers that will ultimately be driving the whole sector.
As they say, disrupt or get disrupted.
Correct, exactly. Exactly.